The neoclassical period started from the year 1600 to the year 1785. This time period is broken down into three parts: the Restoration period, the Augustan period, and the Age of Johnson. Writers of the neoclassical period tried to imitate the classical writings of the Greeks and Romans. That's why they are called the neoclassicals, and their age is called the neoclassical age or the new classical age. This literature is marked by grandeur of scale and use of rules laid by writers like Aristotle, Plato, etc. After the neoclassical age came the Romantic age, roughly from the year 1785 to the year 1832. Tired of the rules and regulations of the neoclassical age, the Romantic writers focused on the individual, often ordinary people, and started writing with the ordinary language of speech rather than the flowery words of the neoclassical writers. Nature was idealized, and isolation and melancholy was celebrated. Many considered the year 1798 as the beginning of the Romantic age, when Wordsworth wrote a preface to the lyrical ballads. William Wordsworth, along with his friend Samuel Taylor Coleridge, produced a book of poems entitled Lyrical Ballads, which was completely different from the style of writing of the poets of his day. In order to make the readers of his day understand why he wrote his poems differently, he wrote the preface, which had become one of the most important essays on literary criticism. The important poets of the Romantic age include William Wordsworth, Coleridge, John Keats, among others. Many of the writers turned to nature. There is idealization of rural life. Feelings and emotions were important. The Romantics considered the use of the imagination as important. They started using the language of ordinary speech instead of the formal, flowery language of the neoclassical writers. After the Romantic age came the Victorian age, from the year 1832 to the year 1901. The Victorian age means the age which was ruled by Queen Victoria of England. This was an age of the Industrial Revolution. People started migrating from villages to the cities in order to work in the factories and industries. There was exploitation of the poor workers by the capitalists who owned the means of production. This provided ample materials for novelists like Charles Dickens and William Thackeray, among others. Poets like Matthew Arnold wrote about the disillusionment that they feel as a result of the loss of the past and the uncertainty of the future. After the Victorian age came the Edwardian age, or the age ruled by King Edward of England from 1901 to 1914. Then came the Georgian period from 1910 to 1936, or the age ruled by King George in England. The modern period started in the early 20th century. The postmodern period started in the mid-20th century, that is from 1945 to the present.